Hey everyone, we are going to create the iconic title of the Netflix sensation Squid Game using a powerful Python library for animation, that is Manim. We will break down the title animations step by step, exploring how to design shapes and transitions. So let's get started. So first of all, I want to initialize with the appearance of Squid Game symbols, which consists of four shapes, two circles, a triangle, and a square. We start by importing everything from the Manim library. This allows us to access classes and objects and animations we require. Then I'm going to create a scene. I'm naming it logo. You can name whatever you like. Now let's begin with the shapes. First, we start with the upper circle. I'm calling it the up circle. I can use arc or annulus class to get the same results, but I use arc instead of annulus because arc provides more control over the creation and uncreation transitions. The annulus shape includes a filled ring structure, which wasn't aligning with the smooth animation effects I wanted. So the up circle is an arc with a radius of zero point 0.6 and angle of pi times 2. Then we define the start angle, which is 1.57 radians or 90 degrees. The start angle is very important property as it will play an important role during the transition phase. Then we define the stroke width, which is equals to 22. I got this number with the multiple iterations. And then we shift the circle to 2.8 points upward. Now let's make our second object triangle. I'm calling object triangle with an stroke width of 22 as our default stroke with all the shapes. And then I'm defining a stroke color of white, which was not necessary for all the shapes. It was taking blue, so I had to define the stroke color here. Then we shift the triangle upwards by 1.3 points and scale it 1.5 times to get our required triangle. So now let's get to the bottom circle. We'll call the arc object with radius zero point 0.6, angle same pi times 2 as before. But here our start angle will be 270 degrees. It is different from the previous 90 degrees as its transition will be different from the upper circle. We'll see this later in the video, and same stroke with 22 and shifting the circle downwards with 2.8 points as we require. Now we are going to make the square shape with side lengths of 2.8 and stroke width of 22. Then we shift this downwards by 1.3 points. Now since our all initial shapes are defined, let's use fade in function to for this animation, and for runtime I'm using for 2 seconds. We'll change it later. Let's see how it looks. I think I'm satisfied with this. Yes, we can move on. Let's see the original video once again. I just realized that I used square as a single object, and the transition here is that it is dividing into four different lines. So I think a good choice would be to define four lines instead of a single square for easy transition. Let's do it. Okay, so now our square is defined as four different lines. It is easy to now perform transition on these lines. First, I'll do a transition on the upper line of the square, and then we'll duplicate the transition on other portion of the square. Let's do it. I am using generate target method to transform the existing line 3.5 points right and scale down to 0.075, And then for vertical animation, I define a new line, and then I used a succession method to play these animation one by one. Let's check out how this looks. Amazing, as expected. Okay, now replicate this same methodology on other three lines. Let's check out the results. And yes, I'm satisfied with this. Let's move on. Now let's see how the triangle in the title is transitioning. So basically, this transition consists of two steps. First, the triangle is scaling down, retaining position of its right vertex, and then moves to the left. Let's try to replicate this. By creating the first target, the triangle is scaled down to 0.25 times and move to right by 1 point and downwards by 0.85 points. In this way, its right vertex remains static. Then we use move to target animation for this transition. For the second part, we move the triangle to the left without changing its size. Let's see how it looks. So the transition of four lines and triangle is completed, and we are bringing the logo to the animation closer to the intended design. Now let's get to the most complex parts of these animations, the transition of upper and bottom circle. This process involves several transformations. The circle transitioning into a horizontal line, then the horizontal line into a vertical line, which then forms into another circle. I will first focus on the upper circle transition, then we'll duplicate it on the bottom circle if the results are as we intended. So let's start. For this animation, I am defining a new line and then using generate target method on this line for the animation. The uncreate animation removes the original circle from the scene. Since the start angle of the circle was already discussed earlier, it plays a crucial role in ensuring the uncertain creation looks clean and aligned with the next step. The horizontal line is then shifted for the next transition into a vertical line and finally to the final circle. So let's view it exactly what we needed. So let's move on and replicate this on the second circle. For the bottom circle, once again, a horizontal and vertical lines are defined and generate target methods for their animations, uncreate method to remove original circle from the screen. Let's have a look. Let's look at the original animation once again. Let's create the remaining lines. The total of 12 lines have to be created, out of which 5 are horizontal, 6 are vertical, and 1 diagonal line. Since our shapes are now completed, let's have a look at the final animation. As we have observed in the original animation, there is a color transition as well. So let's add color transition to the objects and see how it looks. Let's compare these two designs side by side. Let's start the animation. In the next video, we will add Z indices and shadows to this design and will continue to transform it into the English version of the Squid Game design. So stay tuned.